evening. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Arunima. The two-day-long constitution debate has ended in Lok Sabha, and Prime Minister Modi, in a 1-hour, 50-minute-long reply, has put the Congress party in the dock for allegedly sabotaging the Indian constitution. Prime Minister blamed 4 generations of the Nehru-Gandhi Parivar for repeatedly, what he said, taking away constitutionally enshrined rights. Prime Minister invoked emergency and said that Congress amended constitution about 75 times. He attacked Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, stating Nehru didn't shy away from amending constitution for his own gains, and Indira snatched away the fundamental rights of people in 1975. Putting the focus on Shah Bano case, Prime Minister said Rajiv Gandhi disregarded Supreme Court's order in favour of Shah Bano. In his fiery speech, PM also attacked Congress on reservation and said Congress, in its greed for power, wants religion-based reservation and that SC, ST and OBC are communities suffering from their vote bank politics. He also targeted Rahul Gandhi for tearing away an ordinance that had been approved by the Dr. Manmohan Singh cabinet. Meanwhile, opposition leaders rejected PM's charge and said there was nothing new in his speech but only blame game. Samajwadi chief Akhilesh Yadav said that those who speak of Parivarvad, their own party is filled with it. So where does the two-day-long debate on constitution leave us? To discuss that, I'm joined by a very erudite panel. Tom Vadakkan, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is here with me. Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson of Congress. Faizan Kidwai, Spokesperson, Samajwadi Party. And of course, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow of IPCS. Thank you to all 4 of you for joining us this evening to discuss, this constitution debate that has happened. Tom Vadakkan, let me take this to you first. The opposition is criticizing the Prime Minister. In fact, Gaurav Gogoi, who is the deputy, leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, he said that Prime Minister should be, thankful because it is the Congress party which gave you this opportunity to debate the constitution, the credit war that is happening there. How do you assess the two-day-long constitution debate that Lok Sabha has seen?
Well, I think it was a very useful debate. I mean, it was highlighting the kind of strengths of the BJP and the weaknesses the Congress was exposed. Remaining it was on rail that Prime Minister spoke on the Constitution. He was not, he's not moving away from the Constitution issues. And from the beginning, he started off with Pandit Nehru, and he said that was not even an elected government. That was something they had acted against the Constitution of the party. People who do not respect the constitution of their own party. 12 PCCs wanted Sardar Patel as Prime Minister, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru took the Prime Ministership. So from there he started this, and then he talks about the First Amendment, that is the rights were, by law, by the ordinance that they brought about. They were, these are things which history, I mean, as a student of history and political science, we've all known it, but in public domain, when this comes out, that look at it. And he said, look, the taste of blood started with Panditji of, using this extra constitutional powers to ensure sustenance in office. From there, we moved to Indira, and then we know what happened, the Allahabad High Court and the subsequent amendment that followed, and how she brought about the emergency. Then from there, we moved to Rajiv Gandhi and his, amendments. The Shah Bano case was a standing example. So all this was right there in public domain. In a short period of time, Prime Minister was able to put the floodlights on these issues, and Congress was not able to speak on this issue.
Okay, so let me, Mr. Vadakkan.
Let me complete.
Okay, go ahead, 30 seconds.
Rahul Gandhi, who talks about the Constitution, there is an ordinance passed by his own government. He comes to the press club, tears it apart, and then he says he is after the Constitution. He wants the Constitution to be in high place. The Constitution is in his pocket and on display. but he has never read the Constitution thoroughly.
Okay, so now let me take it to Shama Mohammed. Shama Mohammed, Congress party-led opposition said, the credit should be ours because we are the ones who proposed this debate on Constitution. But at the end of what the Prime Minister has said, what is the key takeaway for you? Because he's again repeated the charge that if ever there was any attempt to completely negate constitutionally enshrined rights given to people of this country, those rights, if ever were taken away, it was by your party. And today he's not just blamed Indira Gandhi for emergency, he's also blamed Pandit Nehru, he's blamed Rajiv Gandhi and also Rahul Gandhi for tearing that ordinance. So for you, what is the takeaway from this two-day debate?
So for me, the takeaway is a stuck tape recorder, which has been repeating itself for the last couple of years. The same thing, let me tell you, the same thing. I was listening to the speech, I hear the same thing, and the lies have multiplied. He keeps on lying and lying and lying. Now let me tell you one thing. Yesterday Priyanka Gandhi spoke and she very clearly said, yes, we learned from our mistake during the emergency and we admit it. We have nothing, we never said we don't admit it. We have admitted, there are regrets for what happened in 1984. I want to ask if the Prime Minister of India has ever regretted 2002. Never, never. He was the Chief Minister at that point of time in Gujarat. Then he speaks about women. Today he was saying women have been taken to places, I heard his speech. I want to ask him, did he stand with the women wrestlers when they came knocking on his door? He didn't even bother to speak to them. He didn't turn his face towards them. In fact, his police, the Delhi police, when the new parliament was inaugurated, they were beating these women up, these women wrestlers who was complaining against a member of parliament from his party. Did he speak a word on Manipur? I want to ask him today. People are suffering. There's a civil war in Manipur. The chief minister, that is also against constitution. The Constitution of India says, if a chief minister does not function, you have to ask him to step down. If his MLAs, no, you need to give me time. You have given him time, otherwise I leave the debate.
You can't say, okay, let me stop.
I have
30 seconds.
No, I don't have 30 seconds. You have given him 2 minutes.
Shama Mohammed,
and I get the same time. Otherwise, I don't want to do your debate.
Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, let me finish
what you're saying.
Yes,
but
so
please be mindful that there are others also waiting.
Yeah, you can't be partisan. You are partisan, then I will not do your
Mohammed,
debate.
please finish what you are saying.
So better watch.
Don't threaten me, Shama.
You are irritating me because
Shama Mohammed, please don't threaten me. Please finish what you are saying. I did. I asked him. I told him to take 30 seconds and finish, and I'm giving you those 30 seconds. Please complete what you're saying.
You did not interrupt Tom Vadakan. So if you want to be a BJP spokes anchor,
all right, Shama Mohammed, I'm coming back to you. Faizan Kidwai, do you want to give your opening remarks as well? The Samajwadi Party also had its own, set of issues. Shama, you're being unnecessarily agitated.
I'm coming back to you. I want to finish my point.
All right, so finish your point. You have 30 seconds. Please finish your point. You have 30 seconds. Please finish your point.
Yeah, so don't be like this.
Okay, don't call me names. Please finish your points.
He didn't speak one word. I didn't call you name. You have no right to abuse me when I'm not called
I am not abusing you. You just, labelled me with a political party. You just labelled me with a political party. Kindly finish what you have to say, Shama. I'm giving you all the respect that you deserve. Please finish what you're saying.
So, he did not speak a word on Manipur. That is unconstitutional. The breaking down of governments from Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka is unconstitutional. He didn't speak a word on that. So we want to know, what about electoral bonds? The Supreme Court of India said it is unconstitutional, not the Congress party. So he needs to speak on what was unconstitutional from his side, what has been happening in the last 10 years. The Prime Minister of India during election said, बहस लेके मुसलमानों को देते हैं. This is the Prime Minister of India. मंगलसूत्र लेके मुसलमानों को देते हैं Congress party. This is the Prime Minister of India, and this Prime Minister has the audacity to speak in Parliament and against the Congress party, which has upheld the Constitution of India for the last 70 odd years.
Okay. Will you hold on to your further thoughts, Shama?
So
Please
we
hold
are
on
the
to your
freedom
thought.
fighters and
Right.
not the RSS.
Faizan Kidwai, Samajwadi Party, your members of parliament, when they spoke in parliament, they spoke about Sambal, they spoke about rights of the minorities. But the Prime Minister's retort was that this country thrives on unity in diversity. And he said it is my government which has tried to preserve that unity and preserve that diversity as well, which others have tried to take away. Your opening comments.
See, I don't know in which country Prime Minister is living. Maybe he's not watching television because majority of his own people are on a daily basis abusing Muslims, dehumanizing them, and setting a narrative of us versus them. This divide has been inculcated in the minds of the impressionable youth. And Narendra Modi wants to create this divide, create this hatred so that he can benefit electorally. See, Akhilesh ji today hit all the right notes when he said the promise of Mr. Narendra Modi was to double the farmers' income, but has it been doubled? If you see all the reports of there's an international organization which has said India is the only country where farmers are losing money in 2023. They lost around 14 lakh crores. So has Narendra Modi done enough for the farmers of India? And today our Honorable Prime Minister was talking about Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar and Constitution 2, the BJP spokesperson sitting here. I just want to read out this. Tell me where it is coming from. The people who have come to power by the kick of fate may give in our hands the tricolor, but it will never be accepted by the Hindus. This is what your RSS said on 14th August 1947. But you will be like, I'm sure you understand that the Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, everybody, they accepted the tricolor, they accepted the constitution, and RSS ever since has been a very, very frustrated organization. And just to stay relevant, just to stay in power, you are making no stone unturned that the people of India, they fight amongst each other. You are upping this communal hatred, and eventually the people of India will understand कि आप गरीब मुसलमानों का बहता हुआ लहू अपने कलम की स्याही बना के अपनी राजनीतिक तकदीर को बहुत दिन तक ये लिख नहीं सकते हैं. The people of India at large are good. Eventually, they will hold you accountable for all the atrocities you have committed on this great nation someday.
Okay. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, you've heard the spokespersons. Give us your understanding. The 2-day long constitution debate, we have seen what has happened in Lok Sabha. Now we will move on to what happens in the upper house, where there is complete breakdown of communication between Treasury and the opposition benches. So what is the key takeaway? Because both sides seems to be repeating what they have said earlier in political rallies, be it in Lok Sabha, be it in Maharashtra, Jharkhand or Haryana. Abhijit, can you unmute yourself? We're not getting your audio.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
So the first takeaway is that Priyanka Gandhi is an infinitely better speaker than her brother. She's able to make much more, effective rhetorical points than her brother can. The brother remains, quite unself-aware of what he says. There were too many boo-boos today. Is it a repetition of what we've seen? Absolutely. Both sides keep repeating what they've said. Parliamentary debates don't win you elections. These are just scoring points. Nobody votes in an election based on parliamentary debates. Why the constitutional debate was important, if you remember, was that during the previous general election, it was linked to the belief that the BJP would get rid of reservations. And that cost the BJP fairly dearly. That was the reference in the Prime Minister's speech when he said, "Ye Ambedkar ne bola hai. Mera clip kaat ke mat dalna," because there was a Congress worker who cut the clip and put it. He quite happily took credit for it also, by the way. So that is the main thing. It is not, this has zero impact on the actual electoral politics of this country. This is basically a testing ground to see what arguments work and they don't. Think of it all as a petri dish.
Shama, you want to respond to that? A lot of people are actually comparing Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's debut speech with what Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi said. And you heard Abhijit Iyer Mitra's, observation also between the two speeches. As Congress Party worker, as leaders who are with the Congress Party, did you think that what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra said, was more substantial?
No, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had her style. She was less aggressive, and that is her way of saying. And Rahul Gandhi ji was aggressive, and that is his way of saying. So they both have different styles and they spoke on different points. So let's understand that. And the common thing both of them spoke was Hathras. I remember that very well. And that is very important because that family has been suffering in a BJP state for the last 4 years. I mean, this is not anything what the Congress party is saying. You have to understand. These are the people, the family of the victim, who is saying that we want to move out and nobody is helping us. So that's a very important point in all this. And also, I want to remind one thing about reservation to Abhijit Iyer Mitra, who was speaking, is that in 2012, it's Mohan Bhagwat who said very clearly that reservation has to go. You know, that is that. And also during this election this year, the deputy CM of Rajasthan said, 400 par chahiye kyunki arakshan nikalna hai. So these are not words from the Congress party, and nobody from the Congress party has said this. And let me also say something which is very, very unconstitutional, which nobody has spoken on. After the attack on Pathankot, the Home Minister of this country, Amit Shah, invites ISI to investigate the Pathankot attack, which the ISI has done. I mean, isn't that unconstitutional? We have never had something done like this. The Congress party has never called the ISI to investigate an attack. So who is doing more unconstitutional things is the Bharatiya Janata Party. And let me also say one very important thing. The Prime Minister spoke on Viksit Bharat. He was going on talking about Viksit Bharat. We're getting in a new Bharat. I want to ask him, why is the forecast of the GDP of 24 to 25 down? There is unemployment and the rupee is falling and falling. I mean, during our time, rupee to the dollar was much better. Now it's, I think, 89 if I'm not wrong, and it's falling. So Prime Minister also said he will double the income of farmers in 2022. And it will be a 5 trillion economy in 2022. That's 2 years ago. How do we trust this Prime Minister who lies day in and day out? And I want to know, why has he not ever apologized for 2002?
Right.
We have done, when we make mistakes, we admit to it.
All right.
And we see to it the community is taken care of. Even now, one last point, even now, it's always against Muslims. When did the Congress party say reservations about Muslims? We have always asked for reservation for the downtrodden, you know, SC, ST, OBC. And again he changes and says, you know,
Shama, hold on. I'll come back to you.
On Muslims. His enemy is the Muslims. He has to stop the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Has to
Tom Vadakan, the criticism that is being made.
Every time
the criticism that is being made. Just one thing there. 2016, I think Rajnath Singh was the Home Minister there. But Tom Vadakan, as far as this charge that you are talking about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, but the Samajwadi Party also spoke about this. Asaduddin Owaisi also spoke about this, and the Prime Minister tried to address it. But is there a difference between the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas that he keeps saying? And I think he said that we want unity in diversity. But on the ground, this perception remains that there is a section of India which is not being taken along, and they are being repeatedly targeted, especially now when this Mandir Masjid, survey litigations has started.
Well, the fact of the matter is, at the ground level, the social funding and the social support, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, is operative. What the Congress doesn't understand is this has become a constituency for the Bharatiya Janata Party because of the fact that we don't discriminate caste or religion. Whatever is given on the social platform is given to everybody. Nobody asked whether it is Shama, it is Abdul or Rahim or what. Everything is distributed in equality. That is delivery. Here, you had this Congress slogan which Prime Minister rightly called a Jumla, poverty removal, गरीबी हटाओ. अरे गरीबों को हटा दिया. ये गरीबी हटाओ की बात कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
What has happened to the Garib?
Okay, let me get Faizan to respond to that, Mr. Vadakan.
Can I ask one question?
Can I get Faizan to respond to that?
To him,
Faizan, just hold on, Shama. Faizan, do you want to respond to that? Because you also spoke about
Yes.
farmers. Tom Wadakan is
Right.
saying that Ujjwala Yojana or you take any other, the free ration Yojana doesn't really discriminate between community A or community B. So on the ground, if the Prime Minister and his cabinet is making a policy, it is indeed for Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas, isn't it? That's what the Bharatiya Janata Party
See.
has underlined earlier also.
Yes, there are a few things which should be kept in mind here. First of all, the Prime Minister is not paying from his own pocket or from the funds that BJP has accumulated through an unethical means, through electoral bonds. This is the money of the taxpayers. And it's very unfortunate, out of 140 crore people, if 82 crore people have to be given free ration, that means you are not giving them proper jobs. This is the most unfortunate thing that can happen in a country. We have seen that our GDP has plummeted to 5.4%. The industrial growth rate has come down. The capex, the central government capex has reduced by 15%. The IT jobs have become sluggish. The food inflation is going constantly on a rise, because of it the manufacturing sector is also suffering. And see, the Prime Minister spoke about, you also spoke about, he spoke about Shah Bano. So what about Bilkis Bano? Why did you let off the rapists, the murderers? In the case of Bilkis Bano, why did you set them free, which the Honorable Supreme Court had to intervene? And before you say we didn't, I have this letter which is from Shri Prakash, Joint Secretary to Government of India. This is the letter. This is the letter that was sent to the central government, where you are asking for premature release. So don't set this narrative that it wasn't you.
Okay.
It was the Government of India which wanted this. So basically, you people are against everything. You are against humanity, you are against poor, you are against development. What has Narendra Modi done to come up and stand in the parliament and even question others? This is the biggest failure of Narendra Modi, that even after so many years, you are not able to give proper jobs to the people,
Okay.
and you have to give them free rations.
Okay.
This is not something you should be proud of. This is something that the people of India should very carefully think about and change this government.
Abhijit,
this will lead us nowhere.
Right, Abhijit, I think Prime Minister, addressed that criticism. He gave that analogy that when a patient leaves the hospital, the doctor does tell him that you please take care and be careful, and that's how he tried to justify the continued free ration system. But there is a concern, isn't it? The drain that this is having on the economy. I think the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister has also now said that we realize that the Ladli Behna Yojana is a huge boon for the women of Madhya Pradesh, but fiscal prudence wise it is a concern.
Look, there's no such thing as the right of fiscal conservatives in India, Arunima. You just can't have that in a country that's as poor as India, right? So we're looking at parties that are either left of center, further left of center, or total loony left. That said, there are several things that need to be corrected out here. Mohan Bhagwat never said, let's end reservations. He said, as long as discrimination continues, there will be reservations, right? Second, Congress has a long history.
He said, let's end reservation.
Okay.
I won't agree on
I
that,
didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you.
That's a
That was fake news that you put out, complete lie. And Congress has a long history. It was in 1975 that the State Backward Commission by LG Havanur recognized Muslims as eligible for reservations. They were then included in categories 1 and 2A. Further, it was reconfirmed in Karnataka by Venkataswamy and Justice O. Chinnappa Reddy. There is a long history of this in Karnataka.
Okay.
So let's not say they haven't done. They have historically done religious reservations. They've tried to do it over and over again.
Okay.
Right? Well, finally, we need to understand, of all the things the SP spokesperson said, anywhere the population of Muslims in this country is about 16 to 18%. 33% of all the government schemes announced. This is the publicly available statistic. Beneficiaries of all public schemes have been Muslims.
All right.
Okay. Who's been doing the modernization of madrasas, introducing computers and all out there? It's been this government.
Okay.
These people basically kept them deliberately as a backward community, wanted them ghettoized, because their only thing is to get them out on the street to protest. The more marginalized they get, the more willing they are to resort to street violence.
Okay, Abhijit, you've made your point, but I can see both Shama and Faizan want to intervene. I only have the last 2 minutes left, so if you both can take just 45 seconds each. Shama, starting with you, 45 seconds please. Hard stop.
No, I just got a lie of Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Mohan Bhagwat has said that there should be end to the reservation, and I'm sure about it, and I have the thing with me. Now, because you don't have the time, I cannot show it to you. No, one more thing. You can't abuse Muslims. I can't do it. Abuse, because I have to get it here. Abuse, you can't abuse.
You are lying. You are lying. You're an outright liar. You just lied on TV.
I am not lying. You are lying. You are lying. Now, he's interrupting me.
No, I will keep interrupting.
You can't abuse Muslims.
This is an outright lie. I will not allow a lie to stand. You have to show us the news item on TV. You cannot lie like this. No, I will not allow it.
Okay,
all right. You cannot lie. 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 You cannot lie.
Shama, Abhijit, I am completely running out of time. Both of you have made your point. Faizan, 30 seconds, and then Tom Vadakkan, please.
Okay, as far as reservations are concerned, I'm quoting Manmohan Vaidya, RSS publicity chief. He says, reservation against the principles of equality. You read MS Golwarkar's book, Vicharadhan, and We and Our Nation Are Defined. He has written extensively, of course, it is filled with hatred for the minorities also, about what reservation could do to India. He's totally against reservation.
All right,
so our basic ideology of RSS is against the minorities and reservations and Dalits. The hatred will be known by everybody.
Tom Vadakkan, 30 seconds. Tom Vadakkan, please go ahead. I have only 30 seconds left.
I will try to
Absolute
point
liar, but
out
typical for the SP.
that the dynasty Rahul Gandhi went abroad and is on record having said
You're illiterate. What do you ask me to
reservation
do?
must end.
I'm illiterate.
I'm
If you're
not
too
into
intelligent,
history.
just go
I'm
and
into
read.
contemporary
We're sitting
history,
here
where
and
this
creating
gentleman
ruckus.
goes out and lets Shama Mohammed deny it on television. She will be called a liar for all her life.
All right, okay. Tom Vadakkan and Abhijit Iyer Mitra completely rejecting the charge that Mohan Bhagwat has ever spoken about taking away reservation. But Shama Mohammed and Faizan Kidwai, both of them maintain their ground that this is what the RSS's standpoint is. Appreciate all four of you to come here, take time out and help us understand where this debate on the Constitution really has taken us. 2 days of debate from both sides, which has set once again into the public domain issues that are critical for our polity and for our society. Thanks once again. I'm afraid I've run out of time, but news and updates continue. Keep watching CNN News 18. Good night.